Hello children, this is Rolly Bansal and once again welcome back to your English classes. Today we'll be discussing the poem, the first poem of your Beehive book, and the name of the poem is The Road Not Taken. It has been composed by Robert Frost. The poem's title suggests that it is about the road which the poet has not taken. Let us have a quick look at the poet. The poet's name is Robert Frost. The full name of the poet is, complete name is Robert Lee Frost. He was born on 26 March 1874 and died on 29 January 1963. Basically, he was an American poet and he wrote very simply but insightfully about the common ordinary experience of life. Here, in this poem, he stressed upon the thing that some or the other time in the life of the person, there comes a stage where he has to make a choice. Sometimes the choices are obviously very good and it shapes your bright future, but sometimes the person has to regret about his choice. In this poem, the poet is regretting about the choice. The summary of the poem is that one day the poet was walking through the forest in the autumn season, and there he found two roads which were diverging in two different directions, and he chose one road which was less travelled by the people, and that has made all the difference in his life. He has chosen that road because he was adventurous in nature. So let's begin with the poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel good. And be one traveller long I stood. I looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. The poet says that two roads were diverging in a yellow wood. Diverging means turning out in the yellow wood. Yellow wood means wood here represents the forest, and yellow represents that it was the autumn season and the leaves of the trees have become yellow. So yellow wood symbolizes the forest in the autumn season. The poet says that two roads were diverging in that forest, and being the only traveller, he could not travel on both the roads. So he was standing there for a long time and looking as far as he could, but he found that both the roads were bending in the undergrowth. They were going and joining in the underbushes. Then he says that then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there had worn them really about the same. He looked the first one and he looked down the second road also. Then he found that the second road was less travelled by the people. So he thought that he will choose the second road which was less travelled by the people. But when he looked at both the roads, he found that both the roads were lying equally there. So they were approximately the same. He was confused which road to choose. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. He said that that morning both the roads were lying equally. No one has travelled on both the roads, so both were lying equally. And no one has travelled, so no leaves which were fallen on the roads were being trodden by someone else. Now, he knew that one way leads to another way. So he says that he wanted to select only one road, so he has chosen the second one only because he was adventurous. He wanted adventure in his life. and he thought that some or the other time he will return back and come and move on the second road. But he doubted whether he'll be able to do that or not. Practically, it is not possible, because once you choose a way or a stream, that is going to shape up your future. Of course, you cannot come back and change it once again. So that only the poet was confused whether he'll be able to come back, or he'll be able to travel on the first road or no. Of course, it was not possible. So he was doubting about that. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. The poet says that I will be telling this with a sigh, with a great regret, with a feeling of sorrow that I have chosen the road which was less travelled by, the people, and that has made all the difference in my life. That has shaped up my life like this. So that is the poem. Let us have a quick view on the message of the poem. The poem reveals that the life is full of up and downs, divergence now and then. It is important to make a choice in order to get your future shaped. Sometimes right, sometimes wrong, but once the choice has been made, you cannot come back and again opt for the other thing. So that is the message given by the poem. So we have to be very sincere in making the choice. You should use our presence of mind while making the choice, because that choice is going to shape your future. Now let us go through the poetic devices used in the poem. The first poetic device is metaphor. Like it is said, yellow woods. Yellow woods represent what? I already told you. Yellow woods represent the forest in the autumn season. So that is a metaphor here. Now the second poetic device used here is imagery. Actually, the poet asks the readers to imagine the situation. He says yellow wood. Yellow wood visualizes the effect of autumn forest. So that is an imagery device used here. Then coming to the next one is simile. Simile is the poetic device in which a comparison is made using the word as or like. The poet says, as just as fair. Then took the other as just as fair. He is saying he opted for the other road. He took the other road that was as just as fair. So I told you the comparison. When the comparison is made using the word as or like, then it is called simile. Next one, assonance. That is the repetition of the vowel sound. Vowels you must be knowing, A, E, I, O, U. So when these words, when the sound of these vowels are repeated, then it is called assonance. For example, in the line he said, though as far that the passing. Though as far that the passing. The sound of A. And in somewhere ages and ages hence. Again the sound of A is being repeated. So I told you when there is an emphasis on the vowel sound, it is assonance. Let's move to the next one, that is consonance. It is the repetition of the consonant sounds. I think so everyone must be aware with consonants. Leaving A, E, I, O, U, the rest 21 alphabets are the consonant. So when the sound of the consonant comes, then it is consonants. For example, two roads diverging in a yellow wood. The sound of D is coming. So that is a consonance. Or though as far as the passing there. The sound of T is being repeated. So T is being shown. So that is the consonance. And the last one is personification, where we compare a non-living thing to a living thing. Like where the poet says, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Wanted wear means that it wanted to wear and tear. So here the poet is comparing the road to the human being. As the human beings wear and tear, they get tired. In the same way, he is comparing the road to the human being. So this is personification used in. Hope so. The poem is clear to you. Have a good day.